Hello, happy Monday. I hope everybody is doing well. It's late, but better late than never. I never set a time for when I would post these, and that was intentional. I'm super excited to see what comes up today. There's been a lot of energy. I just pulled a past life card, transportation. That's going to be the jump off point for today. I just want to see what comes up today. Usually there's like some sort of question or theme. But the first card that we got is transportation, and this is from my past life deck. And so I'm gonna get some clarification. So protection, call back your power, cut the cord, soul retrieval. So maybe you are someone that is going to be embarking on a new adventure, and maybe there is some sort of fear around taking the leap and exploring on your own. And maybe this comes from something that might have come up in a past life. Maybe there might be some trauma either from your childhood or from a past life that keeps you from wanting to follow this gut feeling of venturing out and going on the road and doing your own thing. But you are protected, okay? I feel like for some of you, this journey that you will be embarking on is going to allow you to call back some of your power. The jazz is a vibe, but it's also really loud. So give me the horns. They're horning. So maybe there is someone that is feeling tied down to something, connected to something, bound by something, whether it be a relationship or a place that you live in, or even your family or old connections that you feel that it is time for you to move past. A lot has been coming up this week about, okay, listen. I turned on jazz on Apple Music, but I was hoping that no one would be singing, because the thing about me is when someone's singing, I want to listen to them singing, which is kind of so the fact that I have to keep getting up honestly might be speaking to the fact that somebody feels as though they are starting like revving up a car that won't start all the way, right? So it's like you're starting to jump into finding your own path, going on this journey, embarking on this new path where you are leaving the place that you are in, whether it be a job, whether it be relationships, whether it be an old version of the self. It's like you're starting to leap in, and then you kind of get pulled back by people, places, energies that you feel bound to and that you felt bound to for a really, really long time. But this card wants you to know that you are protected as you jump into the unknown, okay? I'm gonna let it vibe out. It's fine, right? It's fine. The Morrigan, sovereignty. So there's a crow there, and there's this amazing tarot reader on YouTube who was just talking about recently the crows announce it. So maybe there is someone that is going to be receiving a message through seeing some crows or hearing some crows. Maybe there is, I feel like there is something that you are waiting for, something that you are hoping for, desiring for, but a part of you feels that in order for you to have this thing, you have to release all of these things that are holding you back, and that can be really scary. Um, but I'm gonna jump into. So this is on page 72. So maybe that number is relevant to someone. So the Morrigan. What was a time of seeming misfortune in my past that in hindsight led me to develop greater self-respect and personal sovereignty? The Morrigan reminds you that life will never be without challenges, hardships, boundaries, and death are inevitable. The Morrigan reminds you that life will never be without challenges, period. Hardships, boundaries, and death are inevitable, and while it may be difficult to see when you are in the moment, they all carry value. It is easy to believe our personal power and autonomy when the wheel turns in our favor, and not so when we face misfortune. The Morrigan asks you to stand firmly in your sovereignty, taking full dominion over your mind, body, heart, and soul. She wants you to develop willpower, grit, integrity, and self-respect, qualities that never come freely or easily, or are only born from overcoming struggle and strife. So I really appreciate this card whenever this card comes up, because it is just a reminder that nobody ever said that life would be easy. And if anybody ever said that to you, I am so sorry, because like it's just not, right? And a part of the reason why life is so difficult is because in order for us to really fully step into our power and to really fully understand why we are here and to build up the thick skin for us to move through the world and fulfill the purposes that we are here to fulfill, we have to go through things that help us to establish a sense of integrity, a sense of grit. It's like these are things that aren't just handed to us. And so I think this card also wants you to have patience with yourself and understand that any mistakes that you have made or anything that you've been harshly judging yourself for, understand that there's a lesson underneath all of these experiences that are just leading you closer to the person that you are meant to be. In order for you to build up this foundation for what it is that you came here to do, in order for you to build up the strength and the grit and the integrity and the self-respect, there are lessons and there will be mistakes and there will be challenges and there will be things that in the moment seem really difficult and really frustrating, and you know, there are times where we feel like we want to give up, but the nature of life is that it's cyclical, right? So there are ups and there are downs. We will not always be in seasons of ease. And so in those seasons of difficulty, we have to have built up enough grit in order for us to keep moving forward. Because sometimes people give up. Sometimes we give up, and in order for us to keep going, we need to allow ourselves the space to be human. So this next card, Lemuria, is about creating heaven on earth. It's happening. So this card talks about, and I'm probably not pronouncing it right, but this is a group of starseeds that have reincarnated on this earth, who have come here. I think it's starseeds. Let me make sure. I think it's Lemuria is a place that was pretty much like heaven on earth, and there were people that incarnated from this space who have reincarnated on earth in order to bring this energy of heaven on earth, right? So you know, you meet those people, and you're probably one of these people, right? You're one of those people that just brings this sense of heaven on earth. Whatever space that you walk into, you bring a sense of peace, a sense of rejuvenation, a sense of beauty that is so needed. And the reason that you are able to bring this sense of heaven to earth is because you are developing this sovereignty. You are looking into yourself in those moments of hardship and actually doing the work and asking yourself, what lessons are being brought to me through these difficult moments? Because we know that lightness, the light is born from the dark. You have to go into the depths of your soul in order to bring that light out, in order to let that light shine. I'm feeling not emotional, but just like, I feel like people are so tired right now and wondering when you're going to get to this ultimate potential, right? You've been doing the work. You've been sitting down and trying to figure out what the lessons are, and you've been building your self-respect, and you've been meditating and going over in your head like why you're here and what things you can do to continue to like fulfill your purpose. But I'm also feeling this sense of like exhaustion, and maybe it's because it's the end of the year. But just know that you are so freaking close to reaching your ultimate potential because you are doing the work. This card says, I choose to live a life of my fullest potential. I trust that this will draw me towards experiences and people that support my growth and accomplishment. Tuning into this frequency, I now reach higher heights than I ever thought possible. Knowing that's an option, why would I have ever tuned into anything else? I'm looking at you, smooth jazz and talk radio. So, in order for us to reach this ultimate potential, these hardships that we're going through are so necessary because you are building up your arsenal in order for you to be able to handle the shit that is coming. Because the good shit, the shit that you've been waiting for, the shit that you have been wondering, like, when am I going to see the fruits of my labor? When are the seeds going to start to sprout? Like, just know that it is coming. It's happening. You are sharing your light. You are tapping into yourself in a whole nother way, on a whole nother level than you've ever done before. And for a lot of us, I feel like you are right on the brink of something, and you truly are. And it might be hard to see it right now because, I don't know, y'all, I'm not gonna try to requote nothing right now because y'all already know. Y'all already know. But I disassociate every time I have to re-quote a quote. Before you get to before you arrive at where you're gonna be arriving, that's when the devil really tries to bring you down. Okay, that's the best way that I can re-quote that quote. Y'all know what I'm talking about. You are on the precipice. You are on the precipice of what you have always dreamt about, okay? And then we have this Freya, Lady of Love and War, self-love. And every time this card comes out, I feel a lot of things. So I'm a Gemini, and what that means is Gemini, we just had a Gemini full moon, and Geminis are all about duality and exploring both sides of everything. Like, the light and the dark. This card wants you to try to find the balance between the lover and warrior archetypes within yourself. There's a lot of balancing that is happening on a collective level, but also on an individual level, as we learn to really find this sense and tap into this sense of unconditional love for ourselves and for others, but first and foremost for ourselves. And with that comes this need to balance the lover and warrior archetype within yourself. And I want to be reminded of the question that is asked in regards to this card. I know I'll be talking slow sometimes, y'all, but my brain is actually slowing down right now. It has been a long day, but I don't think it's just that. I think that it's like we're in a season where so much of what we've been learning and exploring and jumping into, it's like the way this energy is coming up, it's like so many of those things are kind of all coming up and are all jumbled up right now, and we're trying to make sense of everything. And I think that's a part of that is because we are nearing the end of the year, and a lot of times we feel like we have to like wrap up the year neatly with a bow and like understand like what were all the lessons and what am I not trying to bring into next year. And we kind of feel like we have to rush, but we don't. And I know that there's a lot energetically that is like floating around, like even in these messages, like there are links to everything here, but it does kind of feel like it's all over the place. But ironically enough, the ultimate potential card is in the middle of all of these cards, because at the end of the day, everything that we have been working on, everything that we have been discovering, all the lessons that we have been learning are all leading up to this ultimate potential. And this card, the Freya, Lady of Love and War, asks, how can I bring greater harmony between the lover and warrior archetypes within myself to ensure that I am neither losing myself in another nor closing myself off to the love I deserve? Okay, and so I've been studying the 7th house a lot throughout my time learning about astrology, because my North Node, which is your destiny, is in the 7th house, which is the Libra house, and Libra represents balance. And so often I find myself, and I know that I'm not the only one that's experiencing this, even if you don't have any Libra or 7th house energy within your chart, but if you do, this is something that you are probably, this is probably something that you've been moving through as well. But this balance between not losing yourself in somebody else nor closing yourself off to the love that you deserve. And there's a very, I don't even want to say fine line, there's a very delicate balance when it comes to pouring into self and pouring into others. And that's what my South Node past life and this life North Node energy is all about, is this balance between pouring into myself and pouring into others. And I feel like that is so much of what we are all going through collectively right now, is like, how do I dig into these humanitarian efforts and help other people, but like, how can I even do that if I'm not even pouring into myself? How much can I pour into myself without neglecting other people? I feel like this is a big question that so many of us are pondering and asking ourselves. And honestly, self-love, I think I don't know what the answer is, but this card is suggesting that when we pour into ourselves and we really pour into our own well and take care of ourselves from that space, we can then start to truly understand what it means to love unconditionally. And as we pour into ourselves, naturally that love will then flow out to others. And I feel like it's something that we aren't necessarily going to have to sit and think so hard about. It's just naturally going to happen. But what we have to do first is understand that it is extremely valuable for us to pour into ourselves, to rest, to listen to ourselves, to do what it is that we have to do for us, and then trust that naturally as we learn unconditional love for ourselves, that will then naturally pour out into someone else. Because if I truly understand that if I do X, Y, and Z to pour into myself, then I can be in a space to receive that from others. Like, it doesn't feel so foreign to be able to receive love from others, right? And so when you're receiving, you can also then give that same love because you know what it feels like to give that love to yourself. I really hope this makes sense. My brain, it's crazy because yesterday I wasn't feeling the full moon as much as I am today. But honestly, I don't even think it's like the full moon energy. I just think there's so much floating around. It feels like we're grabbing at so many different things and trying to make sense of them as this year is coming to an end. Like, that's what it really feels like. But I feel like for a lot of us, it's so important to get some rest and to trust that the work that we've been doing over this year has not been for naught, has not been in vain. We are collectively and individually in such an interesting space of discovering what we need, like what we really need and what we really want. And sometimes in order to do that, it's like we have been going into the shadows and we have been digging deep and we have been using our metaphorical swords to cut away at things that we no longer need. And I also feel like we sincerely need to rest. Like with meditation, the longer that you study the practice of meditation, the easier that it is for those thoughts, all that clutter to just like fade away. And for so many of us, I feel like that's what a lot of us need right now, is just this ultimate sense of peace and quiet and groundedness. And with that, I'm gonna pull one more card. Priest. Facilitates spiritual commitments, serves as a channel of spiritual energy. I feel like we're just really tapping into who we really are. Like that quiet part of ourselves that not a lot of people get to see. Or interact with, in order for us to get to this space of ultimate protection. We've been so out here. For a lot of us, I feel that there's this deep need to just be with ourselves. For some of us, a deep need to be with community. On this protection card, they're holding up the Wakanda sign. They're like blocking out any negative energy because they're protected. And I just want you to know that you are protected as you dig deep into these spaces within yourself that might be new to you. Know that you are safe when you say no to the things that you no longer can accept in your life as you are moving into this new space. As you are trying to find the balance, know that you are safe, you are loved, and there is so much good coming, and it might not feel like it right now, but you are on the fucking brink of something amazing, of honestly everything that you have ever wanted, because you light up rooms, you light up your own life with your light, because you are discovering how beautiful and irreplaceable your light truly is. And so just know that as you tap into these more quiet spaces within yourself, in your reflections for the end of the year, as we move into 2025, which for a lot of us is the year that our teachers were like, write a letter to yourself in 2025, and we're gonna read it in 2025, or whatever, little time capsule shit. I feel like lots of time capsules from the 90s were meant for 2025, and the fact that it's just a few days away, it gives me chills, because we can feel that we are on the brink of something amazing. And you are. I'm gonna pull one last affirmation card. I was not expecting that, but oh, it's not focusing. Ideal partnership. I don't know what I was expecting, but I wasn't expecting this card. I am a rare and precious find, and my brilliance will be reflected back to me when I am paired with a true match. My ideal partnerships and working relationships are easy and free-flowing. I deserve greatness because I am greatness. And, to paraphrase Rumi, what I am looking for is also looking for me. In fact, he or she might be paraphrasing Rumi right now. So I love that, because as we are finding and digging into this unconditional love for ourselves, we are going to be attracting everything that is for our highest good, our ideal partnerships in every sense of the word, relationships, careers, friends, family, places that we live, shit, cars, houses, everything. Like, our ideal everything is coming our way as we continue to tap into these quiet spaces and really just allow who we are to just rise without any resistance. The path of least resistance. You deserve that. You deserve ease, because you are a rare and precious find. And yeah, we're doing it. We're tired, but we are right there. We're right there. We're right on the brink. We're on the brink. We're on the brink. I hope you guys have an amazing week. I am wishing you guys all the love, all the light, all the ice cream and cookies and blankets and rest as we move into this next phase. So I hope you guys have an amazing week, and I will talk to you on Monday.